Sports. NFL reduces testing of vaccinated players without symptoms. Only unvaccinated players and those with possible symptoms of COVID-19 will be tested, starting Sunday, under revised NFL protocols. Also, high-risk players have until 2 p.m. Monday to send written notice if they choose to withdraw, according to a memo sent to clubs on Saturday and obtained by the Associated Press. Players will not be paid and the notice is irrevocable. Medical information strongly indicates that this variant is highly contagious but possibly less severe than the previous variants, particularly for people who were fully vaccinated and who received a booster dose, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell said in another memo sent to clubs. Our experience with the Omicron variant is fully consistent with this expectation. While more players and staff are testing positive, approximately 2/3 of these individuals are asymptomatic. Most of the remaining individuals have only mild symptoms, and the virus appears to positive individuals more quickly than was true with Delta or earlier variants. In many respects, Omicron appears to be a very different disease from the one we first encountered in the spring of 2020. So far, vaccinated players have been tested weekly. Unvaccinated players will continue to be tested daily. The NFL Players Association has called for daily testing for all players since preseason, but the league and federation have agreed to reduce testing instead. Dr. Alan Sells, the university's chief medical officer, described the revised testing policies as strategic and smarter. It's not about relaxing our standards, Sells said. If anything, we provide a higher degree of accuracy in measuring ourselves with a more accurate ruler. On Friday, the league moved 3 games scheduled for this weekend due to the COVID-19 outbreak: Las Vegas in Cleveland from Saturday to Monday, Seattle at the Los Angeles Rams, and Washington in Philadelphia from Sunday to Tuesday. In addition to the targeted testing plan and opt-out option, the new protocols give players more flexibility to attend meetings virtually. Earlier this week, the league and union updated protocols to allow players who had been vaccinated without symptoms to return sooner if they had 2 negative tests on the same day, or 1 negative test and an antibody test showed the individual had reached a certain level. Dr. Tony Casolaro, Washington's chief medical officer, said on a conference call that 21 of the 23 players on the squad who tested positive for the virus were able to train based on mild symptoms. We will continue to monitor medical and public health developments, overall and in each club, and be prepared to adjust protocols further as circumstances warrant, including offering greater flexibility based on medical considerations, Goodell said. Previously, the NFL had not planned to move any games due to the coronavirus outbreak. He even said that confiscations could play a role. But recent developments with the Omicron strain of COVID-19 have changed the league's thinking, as have the many outbreaks across the league entering the 15th week of the season. The Browns had another starting line test positive as they rehearsed indoors on Saturday in preparation for the Raiders. Rookie James Hudson III has been added to the reserve/COVID-19 roster, joining right keeper White Teller and tapping on the left by Jedrick Wells Jr. for a 20-man squad, 12 starters. With the league's relaxation testing protocols, it's likely that Brown will be able to get some players back in time for the Raiders. If the guys make it back, that's great, said coach Kevin Stefanski, who missed out after testing positive for the virus. If they don't, we'll be fine. Elsewhere, the Chicago Bears activated nose treatment Eddie Goldman of the reserve/COVID-19 roster and announced his plan if the 3 coordinators for Monday night's game against the Minnesota Vikings are not acquitted after testing positive for the virus during the week. Passing coordinator and quarterback coach John DeFilippo will fill in the lesser. Longtime NFL defensive coordinator and former Cleveland Browns coach Mike Payton, in his first season as a senior defensive assistant at Chicago, will call up the defense. Assistant special teams coach, Brian Jane, will serve as special teams coordinator. Washington activated defensive lineman Jonathan Allen, Montez Sweat, Casey Tuhill and James Smith-Williams from the COVID-19 reserve list. The Dallas Cowboys put defensive saves from Tristan Hill and Osa Odigizwe on the list. The Baltimore Ravens have added wide receiver Sammy Watkins to the list. By Rob Maaddi, Associated Press ___.